Hello everyone, Jeff here with you for episode number 5 of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz between AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite and WWE NXT. Let's go ahead and get right into it here. We'll start with NXT first. It opened with a women's match. We had Io Shirai taking on Candice LeRae. I thought this was a very good match to start it off. LeRae's nose got busted open during the match. It slowed her down at times. We see at one point LeRae counter Shirai's moonsault with the knees, and then ultimately in the end, after LeRae got some offense in, Shirai was able to dodge a springboard moonsault from LeRae, and she planted herself onto a steel chair that Shirai had brought into the match moments earlier. And then she crashed and burned, and Io Shirai got the win after she had landed on the chair. So it was a good match. Good stuff here. I didn't think this was as good as their previous match, but still I thought it was a good match. We see Rhea Ripley come out to make the save on LeRae as Io Shirai was doing a beatdown, so we had that. Finn Balor was out next for his promo. He goes on to say that he is the hottest thing in the business. And he goes on to say that I don't watch this business, the business watches me. And then he promises to send Johnny Gargano back to the hospital and turn him from Johnny Wrestling to Johnny Watches Wrestling. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Good stuff here from Finn Balor. I thought this was a good promo. And also, I love that as he was doing this promo, he was using a lot of what you would consider insider terms and insider talks. So, I mean, it was a good promo. I didn't really need to hear the insider stuff. But, I mean, this was a way for him to get some heat, I guess. Bronson Reed and Shane Thorne had their match next. Reed got a chance to shine here. At one point, he was able to hit a reverse driver, and then he threw Thorne off the top rope as he was trying to go for the Hurricanrana. Reed ultimately does hit him in the end with the splash from the top rope and got the win. The match did not go long, but the crowd was into it, and Reed gets a nice win here. We got a Team Kick interview backstage. That's, of course, Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox. They're bragging and piping themselves up for their match with the Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag titles. We'll see where that goes because that happens next. They have the match here. During the match, we see Asuka hit Dakota Kai with a dragon screw on her injured knee. Kairi Sane then... as the match comes to the end, the finish is set up when Asuka spit the green mist in Dakota Kai's face, and then Kairi Sane had hit Dakota Kai with the insane elbow off the top onto the back of Dakota. Dakota was face down and hit her kind of right in the upper back, right in the neck area. Kind of looked brutal, but they got the win and retained, which was a surprise to me. I thought we were getting new champions here. So with the Kabuki Warriors retaining, that basically tells me that Becky Lynch is not losing the title in her upcoming program with either Asuka or Kairi Sane. That's pretty obvious at this point now. Afterwards, the Horsewomen come out. Nox hits Baszler initially, but then the Horsewomen do a beatdown. Rhea Ripley comes out. She gets involved, and then Io Shirai hits her from behind as she's coming in. Bianca Belair comes out and goes after Ripley, and then Candice LeRae comes back out to get things going on here. Rhea's left standing tall in the ring as she's getting to face Shayna. And Ripley takes her down, and then everyone from the women's division comes out. We see William Regal up on the balcony with the spotlight on him, basically saying, very simply, it's War Games, and that's it. So we are going to have the long-rumored women's War Games match here coming up, so looking forward to that. So we got that. Tyler Bate and Cameron Grimes had their match next. This is a follow-up to what happened after Cameron Grimes' match last week. Good. It's a decent match. The finish was set up when Killian Dane had come out. He distracted Tyler Bate, who looked like he had the match in hand. That was enough of a distraction because afterwards Grimes was able to pin Bate with the cave-in for the win. Afterwards, Killian Dane on the outside had hit a senton bomb, or senton rolling bomb, I guess, on the outside, onto Tyler Bate into the steps. And then he says that he has unfinished business with him and Pete Dunne, so we have that. In your main event for the evening, we have Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, your NXT Tag Team Champions, putting the belts on the line against the makeshift team of Matt Riddle and Keith Lee here. Good stuff here. During the match, we see the other members in the Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, come out to try to do their part. Riddle takes them out and keeps him at bay for a while. Keith Lee was on the outside. He was dealing with Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, and unfortunately for Riddle, he got nailed with the high-low, and Bobby Fish actually pinned Matt Riddle for the win and the retain, which was no surprise. I figured we were not getting a title change here, but we had that. Afterwards, the entire Undisputed Era beat down both Lee and Riddle. Tommaso Ciampa came out for the save with his crutch. He swings at Adam Cole and all them. He gets him out of the ring. Ciampa gets on the mic and looks at the NXT title, which is in the quarter there. He does not pick it up, but he says, "Goldie, not yet, Daddy. It's going to be war." So they're teasing the War Games match coming up with the men here as well. So that's how NXT went off the air. Again, good stuff here from NXT. Let's see how AEW did. They opened up their show this week. It opened with Tony Schiavone meeting Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes coming out of their private jet there. Cody says it's just another match, and Tony says it's not before they enter the limousine to head to the arena. So they do this deal with the limousine, which we would see later on here. We'll talk about that. And Dustin kind of went his own way, but we would see Dustin later on as well. We also get a recap of things that happened from last week's show with bonus footage shown as well. We also get an audio conversation, a heated one between Jon Moxley and Tony Khan. Khan says that Moxley's match against Omega will be a lights-out match, meaning an unsanctioned match, and we'll hear more from Moxley later on in the program. Our opening match on the night has Hangman Adam Page taking on Sammy Guevara, so it's a member of the Elite taking on the member of the Inner Circle here. I thought this was a great match to start off here. A lot of back and forth from these guys. Ultimately, in the end, Hangman Page gets a big win here. He's been kind of on a slide a little bit. He gets back on the winning track. He hit the buckshot lariat, the big clothesline on Guevara, and got the win with it. Post-match, Page gets on the mic and says that he vows to do some cowboy crap at Full Gear and he will plan to take Pac's head off. So good stuff here. Good match. Page gets a big win. I thought Guevara was winning, so a little bit of a surprise here. We had a women's match. This was not scheduled until late. We have Shayna making her AEW debut. She takes on Haruki Shida. We've seen Shida before. We haven't seen her in a while, but she's here. Shayna in her AEW debut here looked pretty good. I think these two told a great match, and in all honesty, I think this is the best women's match we've had in AEW so far, and that's despite Rio being the women's champion and Britt Baker there. This has easily been the best women's match so far we've had. Ultimately, Shida does win in the end after hitting the variation of the Shiny Wizard, which is the running knee, onto Shayna for the win. But Shayna looked pretty good here in defeat. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of her going forward. We got a Brandy Rhodes backstage video that was shown. It's shown Brandy putting on a veil, and then we see some type of witchcraft imagery and some psychic stuff going on here as well. We also see Awesome Kong, who I guess is an advisor or someone that Brandy looks up to. I mean, Awesome Kong does have a role in the company backstage, so we get to see her here. I wonder if she's going to be playing a factor in this stuff going with Brandy. We'll have to wait and see. We are going to get an interview with the Rock and Roll Express. They make their appearance here. That's, of course, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, of course, who are involved with the new NWA Power that's going on right now. They come out here. They bring out the AEW Tag Team titles, which is going to be in the main event spot of the show. They're out to cut a promo. They don't get very far when we see Santana and Ortiz. They're now being billed as Proud and Powerful. They attack and do a number on the Rock and Roll Express here. This was good stuff. It's simple but yet very effective to get heel heat for Santana and Ortiz. Of course, the big spot here is when Santana and Ortiz powerbombed Robert Gibson through the stage. Kind of shades of what Hall and Nash did to Eric Bischoff all those years ago. Something similar to that. It was a cool looking visual. That was a great sell job by Robert Gibson as well. Ricky Morton had been eliminated as well. The Young Bucks eventually do come out to scare off Santana and Ortiz. But yeah, I thought, again, very simple, old school method, and it did its job here. This is how legends, and I will say, this is how legends are to be used here. I mean, of course, not how they do it all that effectively in WWE, but I thought this was great here. Good, solid stuff. Again, old school. It's simple, but yet very effective. I liked it. So we got a Cody and Tony Schiavone segment in the limo as they're driving to the arena. Cody says that he's excited to sign the contract. He says his mom's going to be in the audience for that match against Jericho. Tony says it's an honor to be in the limo with Cody. I was not a big fan of this limo stuff. Yeah, maybe it's just me. I didn't like it personally. I think they could have been better than that. Six-man action is up next. We have the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy taking on Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and QT Marshall here. This was the interplay with the Rick and Morty stuff that was being talked about. We see, of course, the Best Friends being Chucky T and Trent Beretta, and also Orange Cassidy. They were dressed as characters from Rick and Morty, so they were doing a little cross-promotion here with Rick and Morty having new stuff coming in November on Adult Swim. The Best Friends and Cassidy win after hitting Storm Zero on Reynolds for the win, so this was a showcase more for them. We get that contract signing with Jericho and Cody next. Schiavone's out there to moderate it. A lot of stuff here. At one point, Jericho calls Tony Schiavone Schiavone, which is a callback to WCW. I thought that was cool. Ultimately, a lot of back and forth here for a while. They do go to shake hands. Jericho goes to pull away. Cody brings him back in. And ultimately, we see Sammy Guevara live backstage out in the parking lot area. It shows that Santana and Ortiz, and also Jake Hager, really, more Jake Hager, doing a beatdown on Dustin Rhodes. Hager low-blowed Rhodes in the groin. Basically a callback to his MMA fight from recently here when it ended in a no contest. So they did that. And then ultimately, the payoff was Dustin Rhodes having his arm slammed by the car door, so his arm was in the way there, and they slammed the door on his arm. A great sell job from Dustin Rhodes as well. Ultimately, Cody and the others come out. MJF comes out to stop the action, and then the Inner Circle leaves, or at least you thought they left. We'll see. Next up is six-man tag team action here. We have the Elite, that's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. They take on Kip Sabian and the Hybrid 2 here. Good stuff here. That's, of course, Angelico and Jack Evans as the Hybrid 2. They did a deal here. The Bucks, they were dressed because this is Halloween. They were dressed as Street Fighter characters. And then Kenny Omega was donning a Sans outfit from the Undertale mask for his entrance. So I thought it was a good match. Ultimately, the Elite does win to the surprise of no one. I figured they were. Omega wins for his team after putting Jack Evans away with the one-wing angel for the win. Afterwards, the Bucks are out celebrating, shaking hands. We see these two fans that are wearing the Rick and Morty masks, which were a giveaway for the show. It turns out the people under the mask were Santana and Ortiz. They do a beatdown on the Young Bucks before Kenny Omega comes over to scare them off. So Santana and Ortiz once again getting involved. So this would be a theme throughout the night. So we had that. We see the librarian, Peter Avalon, coming out here. We haven't seen him in quite a while. He's coming out here to maybe cut a promo out with the librarian. I forget her name at the moment. Leva Bates. That's what it is, Leva Bates. Then we see Moxley come through the crowd. He hits the Paradigm Shift on Peter Avalon to leave him laying. And then Moxley just cuts this incredible promo. He's basically talking about being upset because of this match with Omega being unsanctioned, which we heard the audio earlier. We see Moxley fire off on AEW and Turner Broadcasting for trying to hold him back because he's too violent. He says he will beat Omega within an inch of his life on November 9th. His big quote was that Kenny Omega's blood will be on AEW's hands, and then he finished with one final line saying to the suits of AEW and Turner Broadcasting, "Kiss my ass, stay the hell out of my way." Great stuff here. Great promo from Moxley to get you invested into that match with Kenny Omega at Full Gear. Well done by Moxley. And I will say Moxley's promo was much better than Finn Balor's. Your main event for the evening for the AEW Tag Team titles, it's the finals. We have SCU taking on the Lucha Bros here. I thought it was a good match. I thought the finish felt kind of rushed. SCU ultimately does win. It was set up when the Lucha Bros were going for their stump power driver package off the top. when Sky got out, and then Frankie took out Phoenix off the top ropes. So, and then Scorpio Sky pinned Pentagon on a small package on a roll up. So it seemed kind of rushed, maybe a little flustered there. Maybe they were running short on time. But SCU did win, and that was, I thought, the right move, because I thought they were going to win anyways, and it makes sense that they won. So that's how AEW Dynamite, Wednesday Night Dynamite, goes off the air. Which show is my pick of the week? Which show gets my recommendation? I thought both shows were solid. My pick this week is AEW. I thought the action from start to finish was better than what they did on NXT, though NXT really, there wasn't really anything really bad about NXT. I just thought AEW had the better action, so they are my pick of the week. So through 5 weeks, I have NXT leading 3-2. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought was the best thing from Wednesday nights, and we'll have that. We'll see you next time here for more of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz. Bye for now, everyone.
For the JBSN Media Network, this is Jenna Green speaking.